Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Spurley, and so something that I want to talk about today is the difference between growing up. Oh, the game audio is on. The difference between growing up now and growing up back in the day. You can't really see my air quotes around "in the day" that I had placed in there, but a lot of people, especially if you're in my generation, maybe even older siblings, but maybe even, well, at least some of my, I have pretty old older siblings, people, like a couple generations older than us, like in their 30s, even their 40s, just older people in general who are around back when it was old school, whatever they were doing. But anyway, the point is, they're always like, oh, kids got it so easy now. Oh, you got iPads, you got Google, you got computers. When that stuff is definitely an advantage, and in its own in its own places, it's an advantage. But when you're a kid, it's definitely a disadvantage, and I think that they had the best generation so far because they get to use the advantages that they had growing up, that we don't have now. And now, as they're adults, their working lives, they can use things like computers and iPads and Google and things like that now. And so they can use the things now when they really need them, instead of just like for us in school. And so now let me go over why I think that they grew up in the best time that they could grow up. One, no cell phone. You're out of the house, you're out of touch. Your parents can't reach you, and that's pretty. It's pretty self-explanatory. You know what? You say your curfew's 12. You're out with your friends, and 12:01 strikes. Your mom calls you on the phone. Gotta come home, and unless you got some kind of good excuse, you gotta go. You gotta go home. And maybe you're out, you're drinking with your friends. Mom calls you on that phone. Whoop, shit, you gotta answer that phone call. It's just you lose contact when you get out of the house, and that is definitely something to be desired. Another thing is, they could get away with things back in the good old days, like back in the times, like if you watch Dazed and Confused, especially like that era fits me so much better than it does. I do enjoy playing video games every so often, but honestly I don't play them that often. Especially now, I don't play them that often, and especially right now, I just said that twice. At this point in my life, I'm looking. I'm more into the social aspect of my life, and less into the technological aspect of my life. And so right now, the whole I would definitely trade video games for living in the good old days. And what I mean about the good old days is, maybe it's just my Republican standpoint where now, with everything in life, we have more restrictions on everything in life, and we need a more laissez-faire, hands-off attitude. Is that, in my eyes, a lot of businesses like gas stations and alcohol package stores and things like that, they had, if the money's there, we don't care attitude. And that's definitely something to be desired for, especially for someone my age in this time. Because even if you have like a fake ID, they really do inspect your IDs, and you can tell someone, like, if you go to a shop owned by an older person who was around back in the day, they have more of the, if you got the right papers, you got the product, and you got the right papers and the money, you got the product. And so that's definitely something that like I would have enjoyed growing up into a time is, and when everybody wasn't so. I feel like everything has a lot of restrictions on it now. Everything's so, we got to make sure kids aren't doing this. We got to make sure they're not doing this. We got to make sure they're doing this and not doing this. And I definitely would have appreciated a time living back, like when my parents grew up, and especially, the way the world was back then, the way the mindset that everybody had. Not like, oh yeah, let's be stoners. Not like that mindset. I mean, like the mindset of people. I feel like we're more real people than today now. Like, they would say things that you can't say today, and like things that are true. And like, okay, now it just sounds like I'm trying to be a racist, and that's definitely not what I'm going for. But there's so many things that I think that that especially I could take advantage of and even like my friends, and that we can't now, like, hazing was definitely like a thing that people like, that's just what happens. But now people are always so anti-hazing about everything, and no one gets hazed for anything, and I think it's stupid. I think hazing is a part of life, whether it be in Greek life or you know outside of Greek life. I think hazing is just a thing that everybody needs to be going through. um, I don't know. Maybe I'll change my point of view as I get older on this. Maybe I'll be like, yeah, that was definitely, that was definitely a wrong mindset I had when I was growing up. Or maybe I'll be like, it's spot on. My kids are gonna live that way. I don't know what I'm gonna be thinking, but I definitely realize now, the older I'm getting, the cool parents were definitely terrible parents. Like, if it's like the cool parents that like like there's like in high school, there's like a lot of kids that like their parents will buy them alcohol as long as they stay inside the house within, stuff like that. And the kids involved with that, and like maybe like even the kid are like, yeah, I got cool parents. But then like me looking outside of it, I'm like, what the fuck, you have irresponsible parents, what the fuck are they doing, and shit like that. And it's those kind of parents, like the parents that would let you stay out as a freshman as late as you want. Like, as a freshman isn't the greatest idea in the world. And because I don't know, just when you're maybe just because I'm older, I don't think that I need a curfew. But when you're a freshman, it's just like, I remember my freshman year, I would have done, if someone was like, hey, let's go hang out, and they were like, yeah, well, we're gonna rob a convenience store and you're gonna help. And if I was like, ooh, no, they'd be like, okay, well, we're gonna beat the shit out of you. Like stuff like that. Like, I feel like you could get, I don't know what I just said there. But I just feel like freshmen being out late, that's not necessarily a thing. But, and also because there's a big maturity gap in those 4 years, you do get a lot of life experience. But anyway, my point being, the cooler parents now just seem like the really shitty parents. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Leave your opinion down in the comment section below, and I'll talk to you guys later.